Hi there, ladies and gents. Anthony Taylor here again from SME Strategy. I hope you're doing excellently. I just wanted to make a video as a follow-up to the presentation I did on strategic planning for student government that I did a couple weeks back. Some of the feedback I got was that we inherit these strategic plans, or we only have a year, and what we learned about, while valuable, was a little bit too large in scope for what we want to accomplish. So what I was really committed to, what I am really committed to, is giving you guys as much value as possible so that you can move forward in your strategic plans within the level that you're at right now. So I put together 4 key points that I thought would make a difference for you as you execute your plans from a strategic planning perspective right now. So step number 1, accept the reality. I got from a lot of the feedback that I had and some of the conversations I had with other people that there's a lot of stuff that happened before you showed up that you can't control. Maybe you inherited an old plan. Maybe you're part of someone's larger vision. Maybe somebody screwed up on the budget and you can't do the stuff that you thought you'd be able to do in the first place. What's important is that you and your team accept the current state and the reality of where you're at, and really identify as much as you can to really understand the depth and breadth of your current situation. Because the past is the past. You can do nothing about the past to fix it or change it. So you just got to accept it and do what you can to move forward. Step 2 is get really clear on what you want to create within your term. So if you only have a 1-year term in government, what are the things that you ultimately want to achieve as an individual and as an organization? Ultimately, it should fall into the mission of supporting students that you have for your individual organization. But from a vision perspective is, what do you want to accomplish in the 12 months that you're there? Next step would be enrolling others and getting buy-in. So get people bought into the vision that you have created for the end of the time that you're there. Of course, you got voted in and you had a vision and promises. Now it's time to execute on those promises and really sell the final state that you are wanting to create. So what is that future state that you're going to create, and get people bought into making that happen? In order to do that, sharing what that looks like in practical terms, and also enrolling them and getting their support in helping you make that happen. I got that because you have limited budgets and limited time and limited people, it might be harder to execute on some of the grand vision stuff that you want to do, but it's not to say that you can't enroll other people outside of your organization to help make that happen. When there's a vision that's big enough, that's inspiring enough, people will be pulled into action to make it happen. So share with your stakeholders, because you ultimately have to let them know what you're doing, and share so they can contribute and buy in. Sell that future state, get them excited about what that future looks like. So in the presentation, we talked about vivid vision, so being descriptive. And so talking about what is the university going to look like after that year? What is the society going to look like? What is life as a student going to look like once you're done doing what you're doing? And like I said, pull them into your plan, because they want to contribute to you being successful, because ultimately, if you're successful, they are successful. And the last part is creating strategic priorities. It's focusing the areas that you really want to work on and really want to achieve success in, and then work backwards from there to do what you need to do and execute. So that means that setting SMART goals, specific, realistic, measurable, and achievable goals that you want to accomplish, so that at the end of your term and as you approach it, one, you can demonstrably say what you accomplished. We moved from X, which is where we are now, to Y, which is where we want to get to by the date. And it also quantifies your success, and also it helps you as you're making your plans. If you know what your target is of, a certain measurable, then as the year progresses, you know how close you are to making it happen. So starting from that end in mind and looking backwards, what are the things that you would need to do to move forward and make your strategic plan a reality? So even though you have a shorter time frame, it's more like working on a 1-year project than a long-term strategic plan. Ultimately, what you do in the 12 months or the amount of months that you have in your term will make a big and lasting difference to the future success of the students and ultimately to the next round of executives that come in. So, as a summary, step one, accept the reality. Get clear on what you have, what you don't have, and what you're able to do realistically. Number two, get aligned with you and your team, get ultimate clarity on what you want to accomplish at the end of your term, at the end of the 12 months. Be as descriptive as possible, and how can you explain what that future state will really look like for you, for the students, and for anybody else that's affected. Step three, enroll other people and get buy-in into that future being achieved. So that means sharing with stakeholders, selling that future, getting them bought into what that future looks like. And step four is creating areas, strategic priority areas, and working backwards and executing to make that happen. So that means having SMART goals, specific, realistic, measurable, and achievable goals, and then tracking them on a quarterly basis or even every 2 months, so that you stay on track with the targets that you ultimately wanted to hit, and making sure that the work and initiatives that you put together are going to be sufficient, if not that greater than, to achieve the goals that you want to have. So that's just a little add-on to what we talked about last week about the strategic planning process. But ultimately, that's all you need to be able to move forward, to execute on what you need to do, and to work with your team effectively to fulfill on the mission of the organization and help your fellow students be successful within their university experience. So I hope that helps. Once again, Anthony Taylor from SME Strategy, and good luck with your strategic plans.